So this is the third in a series of videos how to create a Google site. So we're back at Leyden Google Apps. So I've gone through how to build the site out, make some changes to content. What I want to do for this one is show how to make some changes. So let's say you've built the site out and you realize, I need to change some things, either appearance-wise or with permissions. So first thing, again, I mentioned permissions in the first video, but that's really, really important. So you may recall, you can click up here at all times to see who has permissions, or you can click on this and change it. So everybody at Leyden High Schools can find and view. If you're not feeling good about that, if you want, you can make it private. So only you can see it, only you can edit it, and you can share it later if you want. Or, so right now it's private, again, if you want to add collaborators. You can make it completely private to you and your collaborators, so only select people whose email addresses you enter there can view it, or you can have them edit it. This is a really powerful thing, by the way, for students. Obviously, this really isn't a student site, but if you create a classroom web page, you can just enter your students' addresses in there, and they can either edit it or be part of the creation of the site, or they can view it as just a class information site, things like that. But that's one way to change permissions. There are about 3 different ways that I know of you can change permissions. It just keeps popping up. If you slide over here to More Actions, there's a lot of stuff there, but then down at the bottom you'll see Site Permissions. And that same window pops up. It's the same window for permissions for Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Google Sites. So if you start to use Google Apps a little bit, you'll see that come up over and over again. So make sure you're paying attention to your permissions, and that's something that's kind of important. Now let's just say under Google Docs you want to change that title. I don't like the name of that page. I actually want to change it to Google Documents instead of Google Docs. Well, again, basically it's the same process. I'm going to go to Edit Page, and instead of editing things down here in sort of the body of the page, I'm going to go up here to the title and just change it to Google Documents. Be nice if I spelled it right. And then you save it, and you notice it's already changed up here. So that's one way to change the title of these pages here. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about this More Actions window. And if you really want to make some changes, go down here to Manage Site. It's a really important selection. In my opinion, that should be right up at the top. It's really important. It's kind of buried down there for some reason. But Manage Site, as you might imagine, there's a lot of things you can do. So site content, it shows you the pages that are in there. These are all the pages I've created as part of this site. Recent site activity is kind of nice. Right now I'm the only editor, so you can see who's edited what. But if you have a student site, or it's your team, your curriculum team, you can see who's made what changes and when. People can attach things, page templates. I'm going to kind of go down to General, the general site settings. If you want to change the entire name of your site, and I wanted to change it to Leyden's Google Apps, I don't know, I can save those changes. And then I'm going to return to the site, and it's changed the entire title of the site. Notice it does not change the URL. It actually didn't put like an S or an apostrophe S in the URL right there. But it does change the title that people see. So I'm going to go back to that. General, I actually don't want to call it Leyden's Google Apps. I'm just going to call it Leyden Google Apps. But you can change the site category or add a site category. So if you think, I might also like to categorize that under technology. Site description for people to see. And there's all sorts of things you can change. I'm not going to go through every single thing. If you want to change the display language to Polish, you can do that. I'm not going to. Okay, now For example, this is kind of interesting, site actions. You can copy the site. So if you're creating a classroom web page and you want to do it for 5 different classes, you can sort of create a skeleton of a page and then keep copying the site and then renaming it as a different class, and then go in there and change it as you need to for the class. You can publish the site as a template. So if you think this site is just so fabulous, you'd like to share it with Leyden 212 that other people can use, go for it. Why not? Or you can just go ahead and completely delete the site, which I'm not going to do right now. And again, sharing the site. You know, the site permissions comes up. That's the third way that I know to really kind of go in and change permissions. I'm going to go ahead and change it back and make so everyone at Leyden can find it. They can't edit it because that checkbox is not checked, and I'm going to save it. And done there. Now, another really important menu item is the site layout, and the color and fonts, and the themes. The site layout, oops, I guess I have to save some changes. The site layout is if you really want to go in and change your navigation bar, you can. I'm not going to do that for this because, again, it gets a little complicated. That's a whole video unto itself. But if you wanted to, you know, when I said it automatically organizes the links off to the left and it alphabetizes it, if you want to turn that off, you would go here. And then you can see the pages. So if I wanted to change the order of these things and I wanted to put Google Spreadsheets up top, above Google Documents, I could. I'm not going to. Again, this is really complex, so I'm just going to leave it at automatically organize my navigation. But what you might want to do, you might want to look at it and go, you might want to save your changes too. So you might want to change the colors and fonts. You might realize, you know, I chose that theme and it's really boring. So if I want to change my page background color, if you want to change the theme, you can change the theme right away. Actually, it gives you a preview, and that looks really terrible, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go back to the iceberg theme. But you can make customizations, so the entire page background color, if you want to change the theme default value and make it something custom, like whatever color that is, and that looks really terrible as well, or maybe you want to make it, you know, Leyden blue and gold or something like that. I'm just going to keep it at the theme value, but it gives you a preview there, so you can add a background image, and you can scroll down. You kind of get the idea. The title font, for example, if I wanted to change that to this, which I don't, but you can, you know, customize as much as you want. The content area. One thing that I do sometimes use is the sidebar divider color. And you can kind of see there that it added the dividers in here. I'm actually not going to do that for this site, but there are sites where there's so many links in there, it starts to they merge together, and it helps to have that divider there just for visuals. This one I'm just going to leave for now, but you kind of get the idea. Just might as well save the changes. And again, if you want to change themes, another way to change your theme, a little bit bigger icons, you can do that. But I'm not going to change any of that. So I'm going to return to the site. And that's it. Really, that's how to make a few changes here and there. The next video I'm going to show is going to how to insert some gadgets, how to insert YouTube videos, which is a little bit tricky, but not really that bad. But it's one of the trickier things you have to learn. So that's all for now, and see you in the next video.